Good afternoon, you wee bastards, and welcome back to World of Warships with Koala, and welcome aboard the Tier 8 US Navy battleship, the beautiful North Carolina. Now, in last week's video, one thing I said was that my goodness did I hate the Tier 7 BB, the Colorado. And wow, is this thing a step up. More guns, more accurate and more damaging guns with better range, much better speed, and much better armour. Unlike the Colorado, this thing can actually take a hit and live to tell about it. But today's video isn't really about the North Carolina. Suffice it to say that this is a baby Iowa in almost every way. But no, the topic of today's video, do you ever just have those moments, or hell, those entire matches, where you think, go home, World of Warships, you're drunk. Now, in this match, which is fully Tier 8, we're playing in a 3-man division with a couple of the lads from CAD, more on that later. But, did you see that salvo? Yeah, that high explosive salvo that just took off a fifth of my health and set afire. You might be forgiven for thinking that those shots came from the enemy Chapayev. And they did in fact come from a Chapayev, but not the Chapayev on the enemy team. Yeah. Now, early on in this match, I was recognised in chat by one of the members of the enemy team, who goes by the name of Chimikaze, the lolly. We'll see more of him later. And as a content creator, although I'm not yet part of World of Warships community contributor program, but I'm sure we will be eventually, but as a content creator, when you get recognised in a match, you get used to getting focused down by the enemy team. You don't, however, at least not usually, expect to have half your health HE spammed away by your own teammate, because unlike War Thunder, World of Warships actually has a proper punishment for team damage. Or does it? The friendly Chapayev has now removed just under half of my health. I'm still using the North Carolina stock hull. And usually, if a friendly player causes that much team damage, they'll turn pink, like the friendly Vladivostok is, although in his case we don't actually know why. But because a significant chunk of the damage I took was done by the fire the Chapayev set, he, so far, has received basically zero punishment for that, besides a few less silver and experience points at the end of the match. Now take a look at this enemy Alabama. Has he really given broadside to a North Carolina at 9 kilometers range? Well, I guess it's time to eat some citadels, right? Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you? Instead, 4,000 damage. More shots coming in from the friendly Chapayev, who still has not received any punishment for team damage. Don't know why, seeing as he's taken off more than half of my health at this point. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Except unlike in World of Tanks, where a team-killing scumbag turns blue, and from that point on anybody can shoot at him without being punished themselves, because scumbag is as scumbag does, in World of Warships, if I were to fire back at that Chapayev, well, you can bet then I'd find the damn citadel, wouldn't I? And in this game, I would still receive the same punishment for team-killing. And you can guarantee I felt like just unloading on the dumb bastard, but there are better targets to shoot at right now. Take a look at these two absolute buffoons on the enemy team, who were clearly texting and sailing and just managed to crash into each other. Well, I could scarcely miss on that shot, could I? And that's not even the worst offence we're going to see from these two lads. Just have a look at what they're about to do next. First, the enemy Alabama, Tier 8 Premium South Dakota class battleship of the US Navy, sister ship to the USS Massachusetts, only Alabama isn't quite as famed for her secondaries. They're not bad, but she's certainly not sinking a half-health battleship with just secondaries, so why is she pointing her turrets in the wrong direction? Oh well, time to eat this bastard with a citadel hit that's going to send him to the depths and... Hold on. Is that the second time we fired at this Alabama's perfect broadside at that close of a range and failed to do much of anything, really? And now she's going to go ahead and beat herself. Do you think that just maybe this is a brand new player who's picked up a tier 8 premium? Well, never interrupt the enemy team while they're making a mistake. Let's try it again. And again, somehow, with a perfect waterline hit on a broadside battleship 5 kilometers away, with 16-inch super heavy armor piercing, we just get regular old penetrations. You go home, World of Warships. You're drunk. Well, fourth time's a charm, right? No, still nothing. Just regular penetrations. What's worse is that I'm pretty sure one of the cons that's always listed about Alabama is her vulnerable citadel. Actually, to take Little White Mouse's review of the ship, her citadel sits well over the surface of the water. This enormous vulnerability runs from just in front of her number 1 turret all the way to her number 3 turret. And her armour is hardly adequate to repel the kind of firepower that's thrown at her. Well, there she goes anyway. Oh, and what's worse, according to Wargaming's own page on the Alabama, and I quote, "Flashing her broadside to enemy battleships is suicidal." Now, the Alabama at least has the potential excuse of being a new player in a premium they've just picked up. But why the fuck did the North Carolina follow her in? Why do I bother? I don't know, how about you? Anyway, with that threat taken care of, if you can even call it that, I think the friendly Chapayev was more of a threat than those two. Oh, the team killing Worm and the Chapayev went and rushed headlong into Alpha and died, with 0 damage done to enemy ships. I never did find out why he was after me. But I'm now down to less than 8k health, with a Hipper and a Magi and an Atago staring me down. Not to mention another enemy North Carolina in range. If it weren't for that Chapayev, I'd have over 30,000 HP left, but I guess that would just be too easy. Oh, and as if we hadn't seen enough stupid yet, here's another comer down into this channel, this time a cruiser broadside on at 7 kilometers range, and once again he gets away without being citadeled, although only for a couple more seconds before he's taken out by the Albemarle, the new Royal Navy heavy cruiser, who also finished off the North Carolina. Fortunately, the remaining enemy ships ahead of us are all focusing on my division mate Kaboom Doom in his own Alabama, and he actually knows how to play it, while the enemy North Carolina is busy dealing with several ships to the east, including my other division mate, Meraki, and the 3rd US Navy Tier 8 battleship, the Massachusetts B. And we've successfully garnered a real points lead here, we're now 200 points ahead and control 2 of the caps. It's looking like this might be a win here. Now, coordination and teamwork in these sorts of games is such an incredible bonus that I'm legitimately surprised it's not seen more frequently between random teammates. The simple fact that a 3-man division is coordinating their movements via Discord or TeamSpeak or what have you, immediately puts you at an enormous advantage. But the thing is, that only works if your division mates haven't forgotten to turn their microphones back on. So out I push in front of this Amagi, who's once again pointing his turrets in the wrong direction to do anything about it. Well, fuck me, Census, it's not like there's been much intelligence to the rest of the players in this match. And I'm thinking that all I need to do is get around the broadside of this lad, and we can finally get those citadels we've been oh so richly denied so far. Not realising that Meraki and the Massachusetts B has made his way through the centre of the map, and is screaming into his off microphone to hold back, let the Amagi come to me, as soon as he rounds the island I'll sink him. And there he goes. Drat. Just seconds off being able to citadel his broadside. Although knowing my luck this match, I probably wouldn't have gotten one anyway. Still, just a few seconds after scoring that kill, Meraki remembered to turn his microphone back on. I guess it's not just Wargaming who's having a few technical difficulties with the old brain today. Oh, and if you thought that would be the end of my bad luck for this match, that wasn't the last flat broadside hit that failed to yield a citadel. Oh no no. First, this Monarch. Nice broadside, significant distance, but still good angle. And 3 ricochets off of the flat deck? I mean, that was plunging fire. How did that ricochet? This is 16-inch super heavy armour piercing we're talking about. Now, of course, there's always the possibility that those shells just hit the Monarch's rear turret. And I also pumped some shells into the Graf Zeppelin, but they predictably just over-penetrated right through the citadel. So how about this? Broadside heavy cruiser 14 kilometers away, perfect hit. And still, we cannot citadel anything this match. I don't know what Lady Luck had against me, but she's a bitch. Which means after all of those targets presented a tier 8 battleship with their broadside to shoot at, yeah, those weren't the best torpedoes, mate. But we have just managed to score our second kill for the match, with 0 citadels and less than 100,000 damage. I want my money back. Now, I don't think you'll be shocked if I tell you that we won that game. And unfortunately, although I did get one more salvo away, it was still in the air when the team hit 1,000 points. So we never broke the 100,000 damage barrier. Thanks to being utterly betrayed by RNGesus, he wanted to keep all the world's citadels in his grubby little claws. Seriously, I think citadeling broadside targets, especially at the ranges the likes of which we were firing at, that's the MO of these US battleships. But let's have a look at a second match that might brighten your day a wee bit. Oh no, look at that. 2,500 damage and we're already on our first kill. This was my first ever match in the Tier 7 German heavy cruiser, the York. Yep, that's right, first match. Now, we're not joined by the division mates for this one, and while we're on the subject, I did say I'd discuss that. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to set up the Patreon squads for games like World of Tanks or World of Warships like I have in War Thunder, because Wargaming splits up the player base in their games by region, so my being on the Asian server, because I live in Australia and anything but the Asian server would be unplayable due to ping, I can unfortunately never play with anyone on the American, European or Russian servers. So because of that, when Kaboom Doom recognised me in-game and invited me to join his squadron, which also happens to house another Scottish-born lad who now lives in the glorious land of ping and spiders down under, that's Meraki by the way, I said what the hell, sure, I'd love to. This match was from a few days before that, however. As usual, the second we spot an Omaha on the map, we make a beeline straight for it, because there are about 4 Omaha captains in this entire game that understand not to go broadside. Oof, and that's not one of them. That's where the citadels were hiding. They're just in the Omaha broadsides. Unfortunately, no more with that salvo. Still... Wait, is that a ricochet? Omahas have less armour than some destroyers. And I don't know what it is about them, but they all seem to want a broadside. Is that just a ship that entices the beginning players of the game? They've all been playing the early tiers in co-op mode, where the enemies can't hit the side of a barn from the inside. Then they make their way through the St. Louis and the Phoenix, unlock their Omaha, and presumably throw their hands up in anguish when they get up to tier 7 to find ships like this, and get deleted in seconds by ravaging citadel hits by players who actually know what they're doing. But anyway, the match itself here isn't really the main reason I'm showing you this clip, so I'll skip ahead and just show you the interesting bits. Exhibit A. Now, I headed to this island to make sure I was as covered as possible from the Leon, who's been firing high explosive this whole time. And of course you can't angle against high explosive. But that wasn't going to stop me from sinking that French battleship. What I didn't expect to see was a whole bunch of friendly ships all ganging up on the enemy Fuso at about the range of a sad wank. And now that they're all out of the way, we're able to launch our torpedoes, fire a few armour-piercing shells at his broadside. Now, that was a particularly poor shot, but we'll say no more about it. And collect our third kill as we hit him with the torpedoes. Now, please don't ask me why that shot against the Fuso's broadside was aimed so high. I really couldn't tell you. I was having a moment, okay? But after another several minutes of chasing this Leon around the edges of the map, as he's trying unsuccessfully to retreat, don't know why he bothered, but eventually we managed to claim the kill, leading us on to 4 kills. Yeah, how often is it that in your first ever match in a brand new ship, the likes of which you haven't played before, of course the preceding German cruisers are all light cruisers, that you managed to sink 4 enemy ships, having barely taken a lick of damage? And I'm not trying to show off, because this was definitely just as much luck as it was skill, and that first kill was definitely a bit of an unintentional steal, with the enemy ship taking an enormous hit from a friendly while my Rains were in the air preparing to finish him off. But do you ever get this feeling, when you're on a roll with 4 kills and a definite shot at a Kraken, and it takes all your willpower not to just bum rush towards that potential 5th kill before one of your teammates can take it and end the game? Because that's exactly how I was feeling playing this match. There are 2 enemy ships left, and they're both battleships with a substantial health pool left, so by the time we kill one, that's definitely going to be the end of this game. Which means there is essentially 1 chance for me to get a Kraken unleashed in my first ever game in a German heavy cruiser. And I'm gunning for this King George V. The only problem is, so is everybody else on the enemy team. The enemy battleship's already on fire, so every second whittles down his HP even more. And he just took an enormous hit from the friendly Fuso, so if we're lucky, this shot could end the game and earn us a Kraken. And it does! Or does it? Let's replay that for a second. The King George V is currently on fire, so his health pool is ticking down every second. But he's also using his infamously ridiculous Royal Navy heal, which means his health is ticking back up again at a much faster rate. Now, our last salvo hit the King George V, taking his HP down to 0, raising the tickets up to 1000, and ending the game. But for some reason, we didn't get credited with the kill for it. So here's my brilliant theory. At the exact second our rounds hit him, taking away all his remaining HP and winning the game, his heal caused him to heal back up again. It wouldn't be the first time a ship has been taken down to 0 health and somehow survived now, would it? I've seen plenty of clips of exactly that happening. So this left the way for these rounds to hit the King George as well, meaning that although it was our shell that took him down to 0 HP the first time, the kill was claimed by, ding 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 ding, the Nagato. And that's enough internet for me for today. Go home, World of Warships, because you, my friend, are well and truly dancing on the tables in your underwear, drunk. Although we did end our first match in the ship with 4 kills and almost 70,000 damage. And that's going to be it for today's video, lads. Look, I hope you have enjoyed, and that if you did, you leave a like, subscribe, come join my social media, and check out Patreon or hit the join button here on YouTube if you wish to support this channel further. Thank you, lads, all for watching. Have a lovely good day, and always remember, keep your bagpipes in one hand, a whiskey in the other, keep your kilt on, and I will catch you next time. I say a wee thank you to these lads for supporting me on Patreon. Mo, Bias Remover, Rosekill, Metallic Green, Church, Crescent, Captain Fibar, The Britlander, Seagull Nuts, The8261, Latvian Loaf, Gisliga Darson, and Dark Recon. You lads are bro. Want to join them? Come check out Patreon at the link in the description below.